Boys and girls, welcome. And we're live on YouTube. And we're live on Instagram. Welcome back. Episode 88 of the Dugout. Let's get things started, huh? No time like the present. Alright, podcast is going. 3. Alright, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Episode 88, Dave's Dugout. Can't believe it. What's going on? Happy, what is today? Thursday? Noon over here. Not on the East Coast, in the mountain time zone, up in the Rockies. Not really up in the Rockies, but you know. You know how it goes. Alrighty, so, since last time we talked, we have a new champion in the NBA. Got some college basketball news. Down to 4 teams in the MLB Postseason. And some crazy stuff happening in the NFL. Let's see what else is going on in the sports world. We got the number 1 golfer in the world tested positive for the C word that we won't say here on the Dugout. We've done good so far. I've only said it, I think, one time, honestly. I think I kind of cracked up about it. Yeah, a lot going on. So let's dive right in, huh? Let's start with the NBA. Let's start with the Lakers. Congratulations to the Los Angeles Lakers on their bajillionth NBA title. It only took them getting two of the best 5 players in the NBA to be able to get another championship. So congrats to be able to sign those guys, make them play as a team. It's not easy. We've seen it before. It's sometimes you can get the pieces and it still doesn't work out. This time they got the pieces and it worked out. Do I want to go on a tangent? Probably not. What can I say? They had two of the best players in the world. Is anybody surprised? I'm pretty sure they were the preseason favorites or pretty close to it. The bubble worked out. Adam Silver should be proud. He's giving bonuses to everybody in the NBA. That's pretty cool. They really did. They did a good job. They got there. They got in the bubble. They stayed there. They followed the rules. The Orlando bubble was a success. Very much. Also, if you're tuning in on Instagram, I'm live on YouTube for the better version if you want to see that. And if you're listening to the podcast, thank you. Go subscribe to my YouTube account. If you're watching on YouTube, go subscribe to the podcast. That's all I ask. Come on. It sounds confusing, I know, but yeah, I don't know. I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not in the mood. I'm not in the mood for the LeBron thing. Like, you guys know. You guys know. If you don't know, now you know. Yeah, he's the greatest right now. It's like hands down. He has been for like 15 years. That's like as long as most of his fans have been alive. It's like, yes, he's the best in the world. Like, there's no, like, I'm not stupid. And there's no denying it. Never have, never will. It's just, I'm sick of it in every sport. It's not just LeBron. I don't like it for Tom Brady either. Neither of them are the GOATs. I'm sorry. LeBron is not the greatest of all time. Tom Brady is not the greatest of all time. Tom Brady, you have the argument. There's a guy's about to weed whack right next. Really? This is happening? Can you guys hear this? Great. So, like, you haven't weed whacked and not actually. I'm not gonna complain because I don't have to weed whack. This is great. This is fantastic. Damn, it distracted me. What was I saying? Yeah, I mean, I've made the argument a million times. Brady has at least an argument for most successful of all time. I don't know how you can call somebody the greatest of all time when they have less passing yards, less touchdown yards than like a guy playing right now across the street from him in New Orleans. He's down in Tampa Bay. How can you be the best of all time when there's another quarterback doing the same thing you're doing? He's like 2 years younger, 1 year younger. Like, He has better stats in almost every single category and didn't have the best coach of all time by his side. I don't know, man. I'm just saying LeBron's a fantastic basketball player. Could he pick me up like a basketball? Probably. He could probably palm me and just, like, dunk me. Yeah, sure, he's a freak athlete. He's a good dude sometimes when cameras are in front of him. I'm sure he's a nice guy. I also think he whines too much. To be an example for millions of children out there, I don't think you should. If you're on the podcast watching, not on one of the little pouty face and he puts his hands up. Stop doing that 17 times a game and maybe more people would like you. I would have no problem with him if he didn't do that. Honestly, that's probably 90% of why I don't. Not a huge LeBron fan. I'm not going to say I don't like him. I've never met him, so I can't say that. I'm just not a big fan because of the complaining and the flopping and the whining. The whining. It's the whining. He talks to the refs more than he does his own teammates half the time. But they got another win. He got another NBA Finals MVP. Like, he's got rings, man. 3 different teams. That's impressive. But that was the first person ever, right? Three championships, 3 different teams. Would I take 6 with one team? If you just gave me the option. I mean, they do that on Twitter all the time. ESPN tries to do it to get clicks. Pick a career. I'd rather be the first pick and get 1 championship and play for 20 years, or win 2 championships and be a role player and play for 5 years. If you gave me an option, 3 championships with 3 different teams, or 6 championships with 1 team, it's just me. It's my opinion. I'm going 6 championships with 1 team. And the fact that there were 2 three-peats, that's crazy. Like, you can't even... A three-peat? We haven't had a back-to-back champion. I think they said in the NBA. No, maybe that was the MLB I was listening to. Yeah, it was the MLB. There hasn't been a back-to-back in like 17 years or something. The Yankees used to do it all the time, but now it's been a while. But going back-to-back is so hard in the NBA. To go 1, 2, 3, then take a break, then go 1, 2, 3. Stop. It's unarguable. It's not. It's like, I've talked about it on the podcast before. It's recency bias. All right, we're going on too long about this. I didn't even want to do this. I didn't even want to, but I don't know. I could go into the stats and say, it was a good year. They pulled off the bubble. There was some parity. I loved the parity. I loved the finals matchup. So, it was good. They're both good. Alrighty, we got college basketball news. I was going to do this off the top, but not going to do it off the top because there's a new champion, the Lakers. I mean, come on. They're like the most popular team in basketball. I'm not going to not talk about it. I'm not crazy. But college basketball news, we do have an official date now for what are probably going to be the number 1 and number 2 teams in the country. Hopefully in this order, Baylor and Gonzaga. It could be in this order, Gonzaga and Baylor. Probably going to be the number 1 and number 2 teams in the preseason poll. Maybe Villanova will sneak in the 2, but they're probably going to be the 3. If I had to go out on a limb, I don't know. You never know with the AP voters. They might vote for Gonzaga. I would think it's going to go Baylor, Gonzaga, Villanova. But it could go Gonzaga, Baylor, Villanova. And then after that, it's pick. I mean, the top 10 is pretty scrambled from what you look at. I've been teasing for a while. I'm going to put out my rankings, but I'm going to wait a couple more weeks. I feel like you put out the rankings too early. Unless you have a big following and you're, like Gary Parrish and you can do it every week or whatever. But preseason, I feel like it kind of loses its buzz if you do it like 2 months out. So maybe once we hit November, then we'll know, like, hey, games are in 20 days. It's time to really pay attention. So I'm probably getting, that's what I'm thinking right now. Could obviously change, but we'll get the DD top 14 out there for you soon. What does that even mean? They didn't bail. The tournament got canceled. Sorry. Live comments. Sorry, people. So December 5th in Indianapolis, that's going to be the big matchup. Hopefully both teams are number 1 and 2 still by then. Chances are pretty good because I think like we're seeing in football across the country, it's going to be hard to play games. So I would think Baylor and Gonzaga aren't going to have too many games under their belt by December 5th. I would hope they do, but we'll see. I mean, it's still a work in progress. So, and on top of that news, yesterday, Wednesday the 14th, was the first day for a lot of teams to practice for college basketball. So that was cool to see guys in their practice facilities playing as a team. So that's we're a step closer, man. I'm trying not to get my hopes up too high because last year was brutal. I mean, you're talking to me. I came in. These coaches and players, man, oh God, don't even get me started. So there's that. I mean, so that's our basketball news. NBA, college basketball. NBA, they're gonna figure out. I mean, really, they should be like starting soon. So I'm under the mindset too, where I think it'd be better if they waited till like at least January. I think it would kind of. I don't know. It would ruin it if it just flowed right into the next season. But yeah, all right. So baseball news. There's some sad news first, and then we'll have the what's going on in the championship series in the championship series. Anyway, so Bob Gibson. Hall of Fame pitcher for the St. Louis Cardinals, passed away the other week. This, I think, is just worth mentioning. A, Cardinals fan. But B, this guy is a name I don't think many people... Tell me if I'm wrong if you're a big baseball fan. I'd be curious to know if the Kyles knew his name before a few weeks ago. I don't think I would have if it weren't for being a Cardinals fan. But this guy, I'm glad they put out some documentaries and stuff. I mean, I'm terribly sad he passed away, but it didn't last long either. But at least there was some tread there for a day or two. And I watched one of the little 10-minute documentaries about him. Was awesome. I mean, I didn't realize how incredible of an athlete this guy was. He literally, this is the craziest part about it. They literally changed the baseball field because of this man. He was so good at pitching. We're talking MVP, multiple Cy Youngs, World Series MVP. I mean, the list goes on. He like Gold Glove winners. I mean, he literally was crazy. But one season, I believe it was 1968. He pitched so well that they literally lowered the mound in baseball. They were like, this guy's too good. And still to this day, the mound is not as high in baseball as it was 1967 and on and before. 68 and on, now we see the lower mound. Because Bob Gibson was that good. He was that much better than everybody else. And they literally had, in the one documentary, the other pitcher was I don't remember his name at the moment, but he was like the second best pitcher in the bigs at the time. He's like, nah, he was just so much better. So he still has a record that stands to this day as well, which is absurd. And I believe this was the same season, the 68 season. He struck out 17 people in one game in the World Series. Game 1 of the World Series. So this is the World Series. You're playing against the second best team in the world. And he strikes out 17 people. That's almost everyone on the team twice. I mean, 18 would be everyone twice. 17 that's nuts. There's 27 outs in a baseball game. 10 more. Everybody else had to get 10 more outs. He got 17 all by himself. That's That's nuts. That's like, and I believe that's the season that made them change the mound. I mean, so um, literally, I mean, we call them like once in a lifetime athletes sometimes, but I mean, when is I've actually thought about this. I haven't found an answer yet. When's the last time an individual was so good at a sport that they changed the dimensions of the sport? I mean, that the closest thing I can think of is like Dwight Howard dunking on that 12-foot hoop in a dunk contest. And you're kind of like, oh, well, like, why don't they raise the hoop in the NBA? But they're not going to, because that would change everybody's shots. And that's the equivalent, right? That's the only thing I can think of. I mean, maybe I also thought they're both NBA. I don't know why, but the 3-point arc moving back, but they didn't move it back because of Steph Curry. It's not like Steph Curry shot 70% from three, so we gotta move the 3-point arc back a foot. I mean, kind of, but not as directly as they literally. You strike out 17 people in the World Series that year. They're like, no, we gotta. we gotta change the field. Something's not working. This guy's too good. That's crazy to me. If you can think of another one, please let me know. If you're watching or comment on the podcast or really anywhere, I'll see it. Believe me. If you can think of an athlete in a sport, I mean, they'd be like, who's that? Who's the really fast Devin Hester on the Bears? It's like he was so fast we had to make the football field 120 yards now. It's 100's not enough. Devin Hester's running back 100-yard touchdowns every other week. We gotta make it 120 yards. Like it doesn't happen. I have no idea. So yeah, let me know if you can think of one. I just came up with that one. I don't know. So Final Four. It's not what they call it in baseball, but I like saying it. Makes it sound dramatic. We're down to the Final Four teams. Is that better? It's not the Final Four. Duh. No surprise in the 2 number 1 seeds making it. But there is some surprise in the number 6 seed in the ALCS making it. The Cheaters. You know what I'm talking about. The Astros. They're an asterisk by their name. The Astros. Astros. So, since last time we talked, the Rays and the Yankees went 7 games? 6 games? 5 games. 5 games. It was best of 5, right? Best of 5. 5 games. So they went to game 5. New playoff format, everybody. It's new for everybody. I like it. It's cool. Full bracket. And I like the wild card not being 1 game also. Just a nugget. I'll just throw it out there. So the Astros beat the A's 3-1. The Rays beat the Yankees 3-2. It's a little more competitive on the ALCS side of things. But the Rays looking so good now against Houston. Like really, really good. I guess they looked good against the Yankees too, but we thought they were going for the sweep. I haven't called it live on air. I was like, get my broom, sweeping the Astros. Didn't happen. Astros backs against the wall. They win a game, so it's 3-1. Tampa Bay needs to win 1, and they're in the World Series. Let's hope the Astros don't do what the Red Sox did. When was that? 04, 08, 07, 09? Somebody tell me. When they were down 3-0 and beat the Yankees. Let's hope the Astros don't do that. Not many teams have ever done that in history, so let's hope we can avoid that. Let's hope the Rays just win 1 of the next 4, 3, whatever it is. And on the NLCS side, this is I am so impressed by the Braves. The Atlanta Braves, I think, are flying under the radar, and I don't know how that's possible. I don't know if it's because the baseball playoffs aren't as popular this year. I don't know what it is, but the Braves should be the headline on ESPN every morning, every night. for the last however long until last night. They have not, well, okay, until last night, they had not lost a game in the postseason. How is that not? That's incredible. And I feel like no one's talking about the Braves. And they were the number 2 seed. So it's not like this came out of nowhere. But it kind of is. I don't know how they're flying under the radar like this. The Braves swept the Reds 2-0. Then they swept the Marlins 3-0. And then they were up 2-0 against the Dodgers, who had the best record in baseball, and had also swept everybody up until that point. So the Dodgers and the Braves have been absolutely dominating everybody, just sweeping their way to the NLCS. It's incredible. And then it was looking like the Braves were going to sweep the team that's been sweeping everybody. The Dodgers then, all of a sudden, I don't know where this came from, first 3 innings last night was one of those games you show up to the ballpark and you look over at the score. One of those games. It's never happened. Literally has never happened. They broke the postseason record for most runs in an inning. It was 15-0 in the 3rd inning. I mean, it's absurd. 15-0. So you show up late to the ballpark that game, and I'm pretty sure it was one of the first, if not the first, game they allowed fans in. And half the fans they were showing them on the camera walking in the stadium looked like triple taking, looking at the scoreboard. They were like, "What? It's really 7-0?" Like rubbing their eyes. They're like, "What is going on?" So yeah. So now there might be a series if the Dodgers bats have woken up. That's a convincing win. If there's a way to make 2-0 not feel so bad, it's win 15-3 the next game. So that series at 2-1. The ALCS is at 3-1. Best of 7. Let's go, baby. World Series. Who do we want? I want Rays Braves. I think that'd be fun. I think they're playing the best. The Dodgers scoring 11 runs in an inning, but yeah. Rays Braves. Ratings, I think that would be terrible. MLB probably wants Dodgers Astros because everybody hates the Astros and the Dodgers are popular. Big market, but Rays Braves, yeah, that wouldn't be good for ratings. But I said the same thing about the NBA and we got half, so maybe we'll get half this time. I wanted Celtics Heat. No. Yes? Because Celtics, that's a big market. No, I wanted Heat Nuggets. Yeah, that would have been fun. Bad for ratings, but it would have been fun. All right, that's the postseason news. Let's go over to America's favorite sport, the National Football League. I don't know what just made me think of this, but I just did. Does anybody watch the WWE like consistently, or because they made a new one, not a new one, a competitor. They made a EAW. I actually don't remember what it is, but I keep seeing previews for it on TNT when I'm watching baseball. There are really that many fans that we can have 2 WWEs? I'm just surprised by that. Can we? I'm literally speechless. How are there that many people that watch the WWE where somebody can dump enough money into starting a whole another one? I don't know. Especially it's been around for a long. It's not like it's a new sport. I could see it with lacrosse and UFC 10 years ago, but it's like WWE's been around, man. Used to be the WWF. I mean, come on. So, all right, NFL. I get distracted easily. Commercial break. Woo! Alrighty. Undefeated teams. That's what I want to talk about. I believe there's 4. We got 4 left. See if you can name all 4 before I do it. Give you a second. I'll give you a second. 4 undefeated teams. Can you get them all? Left in the NFL after 5 weeks. Did you get the 4-0 Pittsburgh Steelers? Might have been one that slept by. Did you get the 4-0 Tennessee Titans? Probably. Did you get the 4-0 Green Bay Packers? I'd hope so. Rodgers is playing like a champ. And Packers, Seahawks, if you're paying attention, would probably be the first two. Hopefully you got the Seattle Seahawks at 5-0. Because Russell Wilson and Aaron Rodgers are playing fantastically fun football. Russell Wilson, actually, one of the guys I wanted to talk about. I think I tweeted it. One of the most annoying players to ever try to hate. He's my team's rival, but he's so fun to watch. He's so fun to watch. He's so good. Russell Wilson doesn't get talked about enough, man. And he does, but more people talk about Dak Prescott than Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson, don't stop. Why are those names fresh on my head? Okay, let's go in order of what I have things so I don't forget something. Alex Smith made his comeback to the NFL. That is, I don't even know the word. I mean, it's super motivating. I don't know what the right word is. I'll think of it, I guess, as I keep talking. But seeing his wife and his kids at the game, and if you don't know what happened to Alex Smith, it was one of those freak accidents. I think of the Louisville player that's like snapped his shin that one year in March Madness. I mean, Alex Smith had and his was one of the worst football sports injuries you can ever get. He also had to get his leg amputated. There actually was a doctor, so he could have lost his life. So we went from Alex Smith almost not making it to almost losing a leg to full recovery, practicing in football now. Like, that was huge. Now he played in an NFL game. I almost said he started. He didn't start, but he played in an NFL game. And then the poor the best, arguably one of the strongest players in the NFL, Aaron Donald, jumps on this man's back. I don't know why he did that. He normally doesn't do that. Usually he just tackles people. But he literally jumped on Alex Smith's back like a piggyback ride. And Alex Smith took like 3 steps and my heart stopped for those 3 steps. So not only did he play in an NFL game, but he took the full weight of Aaron Donald on his back, took 3 steps, and then fell. And then got sacked again a few times. But played well. And is that the right team? Yeah, I almost thought that was the Panthers, but no, it was Ron Rivera. Now is not anymore coaching the Panthers. And Ron Rivera, his coach, has cancer and is currently going through chemo and is on the sidelines coaching during a pandemic. And Alex Smith almost lost his leg. And this is the head coach quarterback combo? Talk about fighting through adversity. That team, I wish they were better because they deserve to win the Super Bowl. I wish they could at least make the playoffs. Maybe they will because that division is garbage. Absolute garbage. Actually, right now, I just made up my mind. That's my pick. I hope they make the playoffs because that's an incredible story. And I hope they win a game in the playoffs. I don't care who they play. Besides the Rams. But I'm like, I shouldn't be trying to be funny. I'm not. It was amazing. It was really cool to watch, and it was really scary to watch his wife's reaction. They kept showing her in the crowd, and she was like, I was flinching every time he dropped back. That's scary stuff, man. So kudos to him. I can't imagine. I hope they let documentary crews around for his recovery because that's a E60 I want to watch, or an NFL film or whatever. I would love to watch his recovery. And now that you can, I mean, end it with him starting in a and who knows where the end is. I mean, obviously you fairy tale it and Super Bowl champion would like, but um, yeah, I don't know what else to say about it. It was really cool. Congratulations, Alex Smith. I am super. I mean, anybody that's going through any kind of like gruesome injury like that, or God, even cancer. Look at his head coach. I mean, you can make it. There's people that make it. It's nuts. All right, whew. Moving on. God, that was a touchy one. So Tuesday Night Football, with a rare Tuesday Night Football game. I thought there had never been a Tuesday Night Football game in history, but there was. I believe it was only the second one, though. So very rare Tuesday Night Football game. And I believe it was back in the 40s was the last one. So super rare. One of the upsets I called last week, Bears. Big Nick, baby. Big Nick versus Tommy. You gotta love it. I mean, come on. How can you not root for the Bears and Big Nick? Big Nick Foles. We'll keep it PG. It's his nickname. That was a good game. I don't know. I briefly touched on the Cowboys and Dak. Speaking of gruesome injuries, not nearly as bad, but Dak Prescott, I hate even thinking about it, snapped his ankle. Foot was facing the wrong way. Gross. He was on pace. I don't think he was going to get there, but to throw for like 6,000 yards. I don't know. I'm not sold on the Cowboys. Everybody's like, oh, Cowboys, Dak's the MVP. I wasn't there yet. Now, honestly, this is going to be a hot take. This is where people are going to call me Skip Bayless. And I don't do this on for those reasons. I genuinely think, people are not, Andy Dalton's the best backup quarterback in the NFL. Yeah, go out on a limb. Excuse my French, no shit. He has been a starting quarterback in the NFL for years. And led the Bengals to the playoffs multiple times. The Bengals are garbage every year. Terrible. They're not the Browns, but they're close. And they have been in past years. I mean, they just got the number 1 overall pick for a reason. They're the worst team in football. I think, now, I could go super hot takey and say Andy Dalton's going to play better than Dak and be the MVP. No. But I do think Andy Dalton is going to play very well. I just said I wanted Washington to win that division. I think the Cowboys have a great chance of playing just as good or better. Their offense has been good. Their defense has been terrible. I don't know. I don't know what the Cowboys are. Everybody's talking about them making the Super Bowl, and then they're talking about them winning 4 games. I have no idea how the Cowboys are going to play. I don't think anybody does. But I think they have a good... it's hard to word. I don't know. I don't know if they're going to be better now with Andy Dalton than Dak. But Andy Dalton is not going to come in there and just try to get them by. If you can lead the Bengals to the playoffs, my God, I think Andy Dalton can lead the Cowboys to the playoffs. My God, he has Zeke. He has 3 great wide receivers. How can people not be hot on Andy Dalton right now? I'm sorry. I think Andy Dalton is going to play well. Very well. I'm almost to the belief where the Cowboys line has just been so good these last years. That's why Dak is so good. So I'm almost to the belief that Andy Dalton is going to be right there. And people have been saying Dak's been on an MVP level. So maybe I'm saying Andy Dalton's going to be on an MVP level. I don't know. I'm saying there's a shot. I think there's a better shot at that than there is people thinking that the Cowboys season's over. So, we'll see. It's on record. Time will tell if I am dead wrong on that one. Watch, the Cowboys aren't going to win a game for the rest of the season now. But no, I like Andy. I got nothing against Andy Dalton. I hope he does well. Seahawks, kind of touched on this on my Russell take. Somehow they beat the Vikings by 1 point. Somehow the Seahawks always do this. Pete Carroll sold his soul to the devil and just wins close games, and they do crazy plays. I mean, Russell's not Patrick Mahomes throwing it behind his back, but they're doing some. The Seahawks pull off some crazy wins, man. I don't know how they always do it. So, I mean, I think they were down 20. Was it 21-0 or 14-0? They were down a lot in the third quarter. Came back and beat the Vikings. Not that the Vikings have been good this year, but I thought they were going to be. And then the poor Chargers, man. You thought it was the curse of Phillip Rivers. The Chargers set the record last year for most games. Was it 1 point game or 1 possession games? 9 1 possession games they lost. It's terrible. And right now, through 5 weeks, they've lost 4 of them. It's another record. So, but the young Rook looking good. He was one of my picks. I think I've got it in writing. He's gonna be a good quarterback over people drafted earlier than him. So, watch the Chargers, San Diego Chargers. They gotta go back. So stupid. Yeah, so those are touched on the undefeated teams. I wanted to do that. Winless teams. Let's see. Let's go the opposite. The Falcons. Oh, I was dead wrong about the Falcons. Hope they turn around. The Giants 0-5. The Jets 0-5. Oh my God, both New York teams. Oh my God, they're 0-10. New York City football is 0-10. That's what you get for having your stadium in New Jersey. God. That's why I'd be a Bills fan if it weren't for the Rams. Build it in the Hudson Valley. Build it anywhere. Build it on Long Island. Take forever to get there, but anywhere. Westchester. Build the stadium somewhere other than a different state. That's so stupid. And then you share it, no less. It'd be one thing if it was the Jets. Put the Jets out in the Meadowlands. And then change their name to the New Jersey Jets. It even sounds better. Why would you have the Giants and the Jets in New Jersey? God, how did I get off on that? What was I? I mean, there's really good 4-1 teams. That's what I wanted to say, but there's too many of them now that I'm looking at it. The Ravens 4-1, great team. Browns 4-1, I don't know how. Kansas City Chiefs 4-1, great team. NFC East trash. Bears 4-1, I don't know if they're a great team. But with Big Dick, they could be. Maybe that was the missing piece. They got the great defense. Then I got Big Nick. NFC South, everybody's 3-2. And the Falcons are just, I don't know what happened. And the NFC West, by far the best in football again. It was a couple years ago, and they, yeah, I mean, the Seahawks 5-0. The Rams are 4-1. They are a sleeper at 4-1. I've been seeing in the power rankings, they're still 10-11 in the power rankings. They were a play away from beating the Bills and being 5-0. And then they'd be number 4 and 5. They'd be up there with the Seahawks. And people don't think about these things. You gotta take outcomes to how good the team is. It doesn't have to be the record. The record matters a lot, but this isn't. We're not picking the college football playoff. We're not doing the bubble in March Madness. The record doesn't it's a power ranking. You can put whatever. It's what sells clicks. Put a power ranking up. So stupid. All right, complaining about my own industry. How long have we been going for? 40? All right, let's do quick scores. Quick six. Ready? Hot take. I haven't even looked at these games. Texans, Titans. Bengals, Colts. I'm not even looking at the spreads. Falcons, Vikings. I gotta go The Falcons have to win. They cannot go 0-6. And the Vikings are 4-point favorites. My God, if the Falcons go 0-6. Broncos, Patriots, especially if Cam comes back. Giants, Washington. Gotta go Washington. For every reason I just said about their team. Eagles, Ravens. Eagles are terrible. Carson Wentz has thrown more picks this year than Aaron Rodgers has thrown in the last 5 years. I don't know what the graphic was, but I just saw that on Twitter, CBS Sports. He's thrown 9 picks already. Dude, it's week 5. What? Where are my Eagles fans? When I was talking about Big Nick? You should have traded Wentz and gotten 7 first-round picks right after the Super Bowl. Man. Oh, Eagles fans, where are you? Browns, Steelers. The Browns have been playing better. I think they've won 4 in a row. They're 4-1. But I'm gonna say the changing of the guard, not so fast. TK Matumbo, no. I think the Steelers are gonna win that one. Hold their stronghold on that division. One more week at least. Bears, Panthers, man. Matt Rule and Teddy Bridgewater. That's a combo. I mean, they showed you something when Matt Rule and the owner and the GM, they signed 2 people to long-term deals when Matt Rule got there, and they let go of Cam. That says something. Was that before or after? Anyway, it was after, right? They signed Christian McCaffrey to an extension or to a deal. Everybody thought, he was the number 1 overall pick in fantasy for running for anyone, number 1 overall. And they signed Teddy Bridgewater. So it shows you, Teddy, he got hurt, man. He was good. He was good before he got hurt. Watch out for Teddy and the Panthers. Matt Rule, defensive coach. Matt Rule. Sick him. Traitor. Bastard. Why am I picking your team? It's Big Nick and the Panthers. Did I pick? I don't think I picked. It's a 1-point spread. That helps. Big Nick and the Panthers. Let's go Panthers. 2 for Matt Rule. Lions, Jags. Somebody keeping track of these? I want to put $1 parlay on this later. To win $1,000. Lions, Jags. Who cares? Detroit's -3. I'll go with the favorite, Detroit. And see, I wouldn't even put that on the parlay because who cares? 1-3 and 1-4. Nobody cares. Jets, Dolphins. Who cares? Miami's -9 against the Jets. Oh my God, the Jets are that bad. Double-digit dogs to the Dolphins almost. Let's go Dolphins, I guess. The Jets aren't gonna. Anyway, Packers, Bucks, Packers. Let me think about it. How about a 1-point Packers? The Bucks just lost to the Bears. Let's go Packers. Rams, Niners, Rams, -3. Take it. Take that. The 49ers are banged up, man. They're not the Super Bowl team you saw last year. At least they haven't been. Or maybe they'll show up. I don't know. Because I said that. We got a doubleheader on Monday night again. 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock. Mountain time. Chiefs, Bills. That'll be a good one. Let's go Bills. Of course. Bills Mafia. How could you not? Do I actually think? I don't know. That's just a fan pick. But a 3-point spread, so I guess I'm not crazy. The Chiefs have been double-digit favorites in every other game they've played. And Cardinals, Cowboys, Cardinals. Only 1 point, Cardinals. Although, I just hyped up Andy Dalton for a half hour. I'd watch it. I'd watch that. I'm actually double thinking that now, but I already said Cardinals. That's also, I just have too many Cardinals people on my fantasy team, so I have to root for them. Alrighty. Speaking of fantasy, we won't speak of it. I hope you guys didn't listen to my fantasy episode of the podcast because my team is the best 0-5 team fantasy football has ever seen. I will go out on a limb and say that. It's not saying much because usually 0-5 teams aren't very good. But I mean, come on. I'm sitting in the Sacco. I'm sitting in last place. 5 weeks in. What do you want from me? I don't know. Team's not playing great. Although, second most points scored against me. I've scored the sixth most points. So I should be in the middle of the pack. But, that's just not how fantasy football works. You guys know the struggle. We'll turn it around, though. Me and the Falcons, sitting at 0-5. I ain't scared. I told you the Falcons were going to be good this year. They're not. I don't know why. All right, let's get out of here. It's 1 o'clock. I got to go to work soon, people. You're probably almost done with your day. How great is that? Alrighty. Goodbye, Instagram. See you next time. YouTube. It's been a pleasure. I hope you guys like the live aspect here. And we'll see you next time. And to the listeners on the podcast, thank you very much.